Hi everyone, and welcome to my first video. I'm going to attempt to do a video on November's card challenge. I'm quite nervous, so see how I go. So with this card challenge we're going to be making 3 cards with one fold, and that fold is going to be a Z fold. So I'm going to show you how to make a Z fold, and with this Z fold the base card is basically 14.8 centimeters by 21 centimeters, and all the cards will be measured at that. So you'll need to get 3 cards cut at those dimensions, and then we'll go ahead and start making the cards. So I've just done a PDF on all the measurements for the cards, so if you miss it on the video that's fine, you'll get all the measurements via a PDF file. So with the base card, it's obviously cut at 14.8 centimeters by 21, and then what you need to do is you need to fold it in half. And with the easel card, which we're going to do first, is then you open it up and then fold in on itself towards the middle. So this is going to be the mechanism for the easel card. As you can see, it'll stand up this way. So that's the beginning, and what you'll need is you'll need your easel panel, which is your focal point, and it's cut at 14.8 by 10.5 centimeters, and it will be glued to the front like this. Okay, so after you decorated it, and then with your inside you will need a strip for the back part, which this strip is, it's cut, I can't remember what I used to cut these with. I will just find out for you, sorry about that. So the strip here is 14.8 by 5.5 centimeters, and with its white piece where you can write, people can write whatever they want, or you can write a saying, is cut by 5 centimeters by 13, and then your front piece, which will be raised with dimensions. So you've got something for the easel to butt up to keep it upright, and it's cut at, sorry about this guys, 14.8 by 3.5 centimeters, I'm pretty sure, but all the measurements are on the PDF, so check your PDF for the right measurements. And then I have cut this down to 4.7. I think it's actually 4.5. No, it's 4.7 times 4, 14.5 centimeters. And that's what your saying will be. And it'll be, depending on what card you're making, it could be Happy Birthday, Merry Christmas, a sympathy card, a welcome baby, could be anything. So depending on what style you want to do. So they're the measurements for an easel card, and then once we've got it together it will look like this, and then that will be raised and your easel will be leaning up against your raised saying. So that's the easel card. So the next card's going to be a Z fold with the focal point. So with the focal point, it's basically the same card base, folded in half, and then back on itself. So not inside, like this one, you fold it in on itself. This one is folded in half and then back on itself, so back on the spine. I'm so sorry, I keep doing this upside down, and I try my best to do it up the right way, but let's see if I can keep it up the right way. So you'll need, for this, you will need 2 shapes of the same size, and then 2 shapes of the same size for inside the first shape. So you will adhesive inside here, and then this one will go on top. Like so. So then you have, when you open it up, you'll have a inside with a panel with sayings on it, and the front will probably have, depending on what you want to do, butterflies or flowers or whatever you wish to do. And with mine, I've cut designer series paper and put inside. I had 2 strips and then another strip for this side, and then once I've stuck down my designer series paper, then I stuck down my insert piece and then my top panel piece. But make sure you line it up so it's glued on top, lined up, so it's sort of hiding underneath the first image, the first shape. So that's the second card that you're going to be making. And the third one is going to be a Z fold with the front panel. So with this one, you will have your base card, which is like this, folded back on itself. And then once you have done this, then you will not score, you will cut 4 centimeters from the bottom of the cardstock. And that's my 4 centimeters cut from the bottom, and that's what you get. You get 2 pieces. And then with this piece here, for us to assemble the card later on once you've decorated it, you need to flip, and you'll need to decorate these pieces. So then it will get glued to the bottom front, and this piece will get glued to the bottom of the top piece. So then it'll end up looking like this with a front panel. Okay. So with the front panel, you will be cutting a strip 3.7 by 10.2 centimeters, and then you will have 2 small pieces, one cut at 3.7 centimeters times 5 centimeters. So that will be your strips, and you'll need 1 big one and 2 small ones. And then with this one, you will need 2 strips. This one here is at 10.5 centimeters, and this one the same, 10.5 by 5 centimeters, so they're exactly the same. And then you will need your insert panel, which is cut at 10.5 by 10.2 centimeters, and then you will have a little saying to cut and put on the edge there, which is 10.3 centimeters by 4 centimeters. So then once that's all together, it will fold up, and then we'll glue that, and then that, and there's your card. So that's your 3 cards. So the easel card, the front panel, and the pieces for the easel card, and hopefully you understand those instructions. And now I'm going to show you my cards that I have completed, so it gives you some ideas on how to put your cards together. So with the first one, we'll go with the easel card. And with the easel card, when you are when you are putting this piece on, you only want to put glue on this front section. And then once you've got glue on there, then you will line up your front piece and glue it down. So then when it is glued down, you get this mechanism. So you can see how I haven't glued up here. So anyway, I've decorated it with Christmas baubles. Merry Christmas. And this here is just the rectangle stitch framelit dies. I've just cut a border and glued the border around, and I have, as you can see, I've got the Dainty Diamond embossing folder behind it. Turns out very pretty, this Dainty embossing folder. I really love it. So then inside I have got the strip, which is 14.8 by 5.5 centimeters, and then with the smaller strip, which is 14.8 by 3.5 centimeters. And then I've just found a sticker that I've got a whole heap of sticker collections, and I've just added the wish sticker on top. And then if you can see, I'm not sure if you can, but I have adhesed it with added dimension strips to make it stand up. And then at the bottom I've just put another sticker. It's like a border sticker that I had. So yeah, I've stuck that down. And then I've cut my white piece. I think I've given you the measurements for a strip, but it's up to you guys, however you want to do it. I've decided to put a smaller piece in and put 2 stars, and this is cut with the rectangle stitched framelits, and I'm going to put a little saying in there. And when your card's finished and everything's done, it sits on top of, well, it sort of nests against the raised wish panel, and this is how we get an easel card. So I hope you like my card, and I hope I've given you some ideas on how to do the easel, and let's see what you've come up with. So that is the easel card, and the next card's going to be the Z fold with the focal point. So as I showed you earlier, this one here with that is the focal point. We glued that one to there, so we're only gluing half of the circle to the front panel, but when we glue this down, you'll glue the whole lot down. Okay, so then I've done mine, and this is what mine looks like. So my 2 strips are cut at 14.5 by 5 centimeters, so you need 2 of those, and the big one is cut 14.5 by 10 centimeters. I'm pretty sure that they're the right measurements. So as you can see, I've put a circle underneath my shape, so I've actually got 3 shapes. I've got a big circle, a lattice die, and then I have my stitched circles. I've done it in silver and Calypso Coral, and I've stamped it with Rare Blessings. I just love that flower, and I've put the butterflies, which is the beautiful butterfly die cutting collection out of the Stampin' Up catalogue. This stamp's retired, I'm sorry, but it's a beautiful stamp, and if you can get hold of it, try and grab it through a retired Stampin' Up sale. So yeah, it worked out quite well, and my designer series paper is then glued onto there, and then the other one is glued here, and then I've glued my silver paper underneath the Calypso Coral lace die, and then I've just in here I've just cut out with vellum, I think it's the doily die, which is retired too, and then it's just a circle die cut that I've cut the greeting out of. And this is from the butterfly die set, the beautiful butterfly, and yeah, I think it turned out quite nice, quite happy with it. So yeah, so that's the Z fold with the focal point using shapes. So the next one is the Z fold with the panel, where we cut it 4 centimeters and then we flip over and decorate, and then we'll add it to the front of the card. So I'll just show you how I've done mine. This is mine closed, and you can see where I've used designer series paper, I've used cardstock, and I've used designer series paper on the strip, I've used designer series paper on the inside strip, and then I've used cardstock, and then I've used cardstock and designer series paper on the strip. So I've sort of just swapped it over, so it's sort of cardstock, designer series paper, and so forth. And I've used the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder again. I don't know if you can see that, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I've used Hooray out of, I think it's Well Written. Beautiful die set. It comes with the stamp set as well. And then I've just used my Wink of Stella, and I've just gone over the Hooray. I cut 2 Hoorays out and I've glued them together, and then I went over it with Wink of Stella first, and then I glued it down onto the designer series paper. I've cut out my butterfly and put my butterfly, and I've did some daisies out of a small daisy punch. Don't know if you can get the Carl punches anymore, but they were very popular when I started, probably 20 years ago. So yeah, and then I've got my little girl that I'd found, that I'd coloured in ages ago, and decided that, I'll go and find some coloured images that I've coloured and put into a little stash, and I found this one. Quite liked her, so I've used her on this card, and it's in a happy birthday card. And I've just put some plain daisies there and another butterfly there, and yeah. So yeah, that one turned out quite pretty too. So when you're adding your panel after you've decorated it, so your best bet is to put some glue on the back of this one, and then you want to put it to the bottom, and you want to glue it down and make sure it's glued down properly before you start putting glue somewhere else. And then once that's glued down, you can then add glue to this part of the strip, and then you can just, once that's glued, put glue there, just put it down, press down, and then it should end up being like this card. So yeah, I'm hoping that the instructions are okay. If you have any questions, let me know. I've definitely got the PDF with all the instructions